Seasons don't ask your permission to change. Waves don't wait for your approval before they rise. And destiny will not delay because of your fear. Ladies and gentlemen, we have crossed a line in time. And after April, many of you, many of the chosen ones, will begin to experience something you were born for, but few are truly ready for. You see, there are moments when heaven shifts the terrain under your feet, not to destroy you, but to expose what has been hidden, dormant, silenced within you. April was not just the end of a month. It was the sounding of a trumpet. We often find ourselves caught in the flow of time, moving from one moment to the next, unaware of the unseen forces that shape our destinies. Time, as we know it, can feel like a relentless, steady current, ever moving, ever changing. But there are moments, rare and profound, when the fabric of time itself shifts and everything within our lives is rearranged. These are moments of divine intervention, moments where heaven marks a significant shift, a transition, and a reordering of everything we thought we knew. After Abraham, we will see a shift in the destinies of many, and it will not be by accident or by chance. The season we are entering is not merely another step in the march of days, weeks, and months. It is a season of purpose. The calendar may suggest we are merely stepping from one month to the next, but in the realm of the Spirit there is a moment of divine timing, a moment where the heavens themselves align and God's hand moves in ways we cannot yet fully comprehend. What has seemed like a random series of events will now appear as part of a grand and intentional design. There are times in life when we find ourselves caught in the grip of uncertainty. The doors that once opened with ease seem to be closing, and the familiar paths we've walked for so long now seem foreign. Our plans fail to materialize, and our dreams appear to be just out of reach. This is the essence of divine timing. It is not a moment of abandonment. It is a season of preparation. And this season, which begins after April, is one of the most critical periods for those who have been chosen. In our human understanding, we tend to look at the passage of time through the lens of what is immediate, what is urgent, and what can be seen. We often mistake the absence of immediate results for failure. But in the eyes of heaven, the passage of time is not governed by urgency but by purpose. There are seasons of waiting, seasons of stillness, and seasons of silence that must precede the unveiling of God's plan. The change that is coming, the shift in destiny, requires that we be prepared for what God is about to reveal, not just to the world, but to ourselves. After April, the timing will no longer be in your hands. You will no longer be in control of the circumstances around you. That's where the shift comes in. The divine timing that takes us out of our hands and places our destinies in the hands of the Creator. You may have tried for years to push open doors that remain locked, tried to force opportunities that seemed out of reach. But in this new season, the timing will no longer be dependent on your efforts. It will be divinely orchestrated. This is the truth that many fail to understand when faced with the season of waiting. It is not a passive moment, but an active one. The apparent silence from heaven is not a rejection, but a preparation. In the waiting, there is a refining. In the stillness, there is a shaping. There is a deeper work happening in the spiritual realm, unseen by the naked eye, where God is aligning things that are necessary for the fulfillment of His purpose in your life After April, the shift will no longer be about you striving to make things happen, but about you embracing the divine timing, trusting that what is meant for you is already on its way. This divine timing often feels like a moment of disruption. Everything we thought we knew about how things should unfold is upended. What seemed stable now feels unstable. The things we once relied on to sustain us, relationships, jobs, even our own understanding of our future, seem to be shifting or slipping away. It is in moments like these that the chosen ones are called to step into a deeper level of trust. The human tendency is to hold on tightly, to resist change, to cling to the comfort of what we know. But the divine timing calls us to release our grip, to let go of what we thought was secure, and trust that God is shifting us for a greater purpose. In the days leading up to this divine shift, there may have been moments of doubt. You may have questioned your worth, your calling, or whether you are truly on the right path. The uncertainty may have felt unbearable at times. But this is the very moment when divine timing begins to work in your favor. What looked like failure was simply a prelude to greater things. What felt like loss was merely preparation for gain. The season of struggle was necessary for the unveiling of a new season of purpose. You must understand that divine timing is not bound by human understanding. It does not operate according to our schedules or our expectations. There are no coincidences in God's plan. Everything that has happened, the good, the bad, the trials, and the triumphs, has been a part of the process. You may not have seen it at the time, but every step you have taken, every challenge you have faced, has been shaping you for this moment. After April, the doors that seemed closed will swing wide open. The opportunities that seemed impossible will now come to pass. But it will not be because of your strength, your wisdom, or your efforts. It will be because of the perfect alignment of divine timing. God's timing is always perfect, and while it may not align with our timelines, it is always the best timing. What we need to understand is that what we see as delays are not denials. What we perceive as roadblocks are often divine detours directing us to a greater destiny. After April, the chosen ones will realize that the season of waiting, the season of isolation, the season of obscurity, all of it was part of the preparation for what is about to unfold. In this new season, after April, the key is to stop trying to control the outcome and start embracing the divine orchestration. Trust the process, trust the timing, trust that heaven is moving in your life in ways that you cannot yet see. There is a greater purpose at work, and while you may not understand it all right now, you will soon realize that every delay, every setback, and every moment of waiting was a necessary part of the divine timing that is unfolding. So as we move forward, remember this: you are not just walking through time. You are walking in divine timing. You are not just waiting for your moment. Your moment is already being set up. The shift after April is the manifestation of that divine timing, and those who recognize it will step into their true calling with a new level of power, purpose, and authority. The doors that were once closed will open to you not because of your efforts, but because of the perfect timing of God. Tonight there are seasons where we are surrounded by people, where opportunities seem abundant and everything feels like it is moving in sync with our desires and expectations. These are the seasons that we often find most comfortable, when we're surrounded by the familiar, friends, family, colleagues, and a stable routine, it feels as though we are in alignment with the world around us. But there comes a time in every chosen one's journey when they are called into a season of isolation, and it often feels unnatural, uncomfortable, and even painful. Divine isolation is a powerful and necessary part of the journey that many chosen ones must walk through. After April, many of you will find yourselves in a season where the world around you seems to grow quiet, where doors that were once wide open now feel sealed shut, and where relationships that once seemed to flourish begin to wither or fade away. It will feel like the very things that once anchored you, the people, the places, and the comfort zones you once relied on, are slipping through your fingers. This is the essence of divine isolation. It is important to recognize that divine isolation is not about being abandoned or forgotten. It is about being drawn into a place of intimacy with God, where no distractions can hinder the growth that He is working within you. In the quiet, in the solitude, you are being prepared. Isolation is not punishment, it is preparation. It is during this time that you will begin to understand who you truly are, apart from the influences and expectations of others. It is a season where you can hear the voice of God more clearly, where you can receive the wisdom and understanding that will guide you into your destiny. Many people resist isolation because it brings discomfort. We are social beings, and it is natural to seek companionship, affirmation, and connection. In the midst of a bustling world, we find comfort in the company of others. But when God calls you into isolation, He is inviting you to discover a deeper connection with Him, a deeper understanding of your purpose, and a clearer vision of the road ahead. This is a personal journey that requires you to step away from the noise and distractions of the world around you. It is not a lonely place, but rather a sacred place where you can hear the whispers of God and be transformed from the inside out. The first sign that you are entering a season of divine isolation often comes when relationships begin to change. People who were once close to you may pull away or misunderstand you. You may experience a sense of abandonment or rejection, but these feelings are part of the process. God is not taking people away from you to hurt you. He is removing them to make space for His presence in your life. This may be a painful process, but it is necessary for your growth. When people and distractions are removed, you are left with only what matters: your relationship with God and your purpose. During this season, many of you will experience a feeling of being disconnected from your old life. The things that once seemed important will begin to lose their significance. You may feel as though you have been cut off from the world, but in reality, you are being cut off from the world's ways and opinions so that you can be aligned with God's will for your life. This is a season of purification, where God is refining your character and aligning your heart with His. The noise of the world must fade away for you to hear His voice clearly. The distractions of the flesh must be stripped away so that your spirit can fully connect with the divine. Isolation is also a time of self-discovery. It is in solitude that you begin to uncover who you truly are, apart from the roles you play in society. You are not defined by the titles you carry, the relationships you hold, or the things you do. In the silence, you can begin to discover your true identity, who God created you to be. This is not an easy process, and it can often be uncomfortable, but it is one of the most transformative times in your life. God is not just preparing your external circumstances. He is preparing your internal world, shaping your character and strengthening your spirit for what is ahead. There is also a unique strength that comes from divine isolation. It is during this time that your dependence on God deepens. When you are isolated, you are forced to rely on Him like never before. There are no people to turn to, no distractions to pull your attention away, and no support systems to lean on. You must trust God completely, and it is in this place of complete dependence that your faith is strengthened. The Bible tells us that when I am weak, then I am strong. 2 Corinthians 12:10. It is when you feel most alone that God's strength is made perfect in you. It is in the moments of isolation that you realize that God is all you need and that in Him you have everything. During this time of divine isolation, you will also experience a shift in your priorities. The things that once seemed important will begin to lose their allure. The things that once distracted you will fade into the background. What you thought you needed to be happy or fulfilled will no longer hold the same significance. This is the refining process that purges you from the things of the world that no longer serve your divine purpose. God is shaping your desires to align with His will, and in the silence you can begin to hear His heart for your life more clearly. Another aspect of divine isolation is that it is a time of spiritual elevation. As the distractions of the world fade away, you are given the space to elevate your spiritual practices. This is a season where you can deepen your prayer life, increase your time in the Word, and seek God's face with a new level of focus and intensity. When everything around you slows down, you can accelerate your spiritual growth. This is a time to press into God's presence, to hear His voice more clearly, and to receive the revelation you need for the next steps in your journey. Divine isolation is also a time of divine preparation for what is to come. It may feel like you are in a holding pattern, waiting for the world to catch up to you, but this waiting is not wasted time. It is preparation time. God is shaping you for what is to come, refining your character and positioning you for the next season of your life. You may not see the full picture right now, but trust that God is working behind the scenes, preparing everything you need to walk into your divine destiny. After April, many of you will emerge from this season of divine isolation with a new strength, a new clarity, and a new sense of purpose. The isolation you experience will not be something you regret, but something you will look back on with gratitude, knowing that it was in the quiet, in the solitude, that God did His greatest work in your life. You emerge from this season ready to step into the calling and the destiny that God has prepared for you, equipped with a new level of faith, character, and spiritual depth that could only have been forged in the fires of divine isolation. In our human experience, there is a tendency to expect that things will take a certain amount of time to develop. We set timelines, goals, and expectations that follow a predictable pattern. For example, we expect that after years of hard work, we will eventually reach the level of success we desire, or that the fulfillment of our dreams will come after a long and steady process. But the divine timing of God often defies these expectations. There are moments in the journey when, instead of a gradual unfolding, there is a season of sudden acceleration, a time when everything you have been waiting for, everything you have been working toward, begins to unfold in a much shorter time frame than you ever imagined. After April, many of you will experience this sudden acceleration in your lives. You will look up one day and realize that what you thought would take years to achieve has begun to happen in a matter of months, weeks, or even days. This is not merely a coincidence. This is the divine hand of God moving in your life, orchestrating events, opening doors, and positioning you for greatness. You are stepping into a season of accelerated preparation, a time when God will prepare you quickly and efficiently for the destiny He has designed for you. When we think of preparation, we typically imagine a slow, methodical process. We assume that we must walk through each step, one at a time, carefully learning the lessons that each stage of life has to offer. While this is true in many cases, there are times when God moves quickly, speeding up the preparation process to bring about His purposes. You may find that in the next season of your life, what took years for others to achieve will take only months for you. The training that others had to endure for a long time will come to you in a condensed period, requiring you to absorb, adapt, and apply what others have learned over decades in a fraction of the time. This acceleration is not just about speed, it's about intensity. God will give you a heightened sense of awareness, a sharper focus, and a deeper understanding of things that would normally take years to master. In this accelerated season, you will find that knowledge comes quickly and wisdom follows shortly behind. You will begin to grasp concepts that once seemed complex and distant, and you will see opportunities that others might overlook. Your ability to make decisions, to act decisively, and to move forward with confidence will increase dramatically. But with this acceleration comes responsibility. The pace at which you will be moving will be unlike anything you've experienced before. What once felt like a steady march forward will now feel like a sprint. The pressure will be intense and the stakes will be high. But this is not a time for fear or hesitation. It is a time to embrace the acceleration, to trust in the process, and to move forward in boldness and confidence. The preparation you will undergo in this season is not meant to overwhelm you. It is meant to prepare you for the future that God has in store. In order to navigate this season of accelerated preparation, you must be willing to adjust your mindset. No longer can you afford to think in terms of what you've always known or what has always worked for you in the past. God is pushing you out of your comfort zone, and this is not the time to hold on to old ways of thinking. This is a time to stretch your capacity, to believe that God is able to do more than you can imagine in a shorter period of time than you thought possible. The very things that seemed impossible will now be within your grasp. You will also need to shift your expectations. If you've been living with the expectation that success will come slowly, or that you must earn everything you receive through years of struggle, you will need to adjust. While hard work is important, God's favor is not based on the amount of time you put into something, but on His timing and His grace. After April, you will begin to see that things are happening much faster than you thought possible, and you must be ready to move at that speed. Part of this accelerated preparation also involves stepping into new levels of responsibility. As God moves quickly in your life, you will be given more to handle. It will not just be the opportunities that you've been praying for. It will be the weight of leadership, the responsibility of managing greater influence, and the challenge of stepping into roles you never thought you could handle. But God has been preparing you for this moment, and although it may feel overwhelming at times, you are capable of handling more than you think. The gifts, talents, and skills that have been developing in you in the quiet seasons will now come to the forefront, and you will rise to the occasion. In this season, you will also experience divine favor in ways that you've never known before. Doors that were previously locked will swing open in an instant, and opportunities that you thought were beyond your reach will now be available to you. This is not about your abilities. This is about God's grace accelerating you into positions you could never have earned on your own. This favor will propel you forward faster than you ever thought possible, and you will see the fruit of your labor come to fruition much sooner than you had imagined. However, with all this acceleration, there is one key element that cannot be overlooked: your inner preparation. While external opportunities may increase and external blessings may come quickly, true success in this accelerated season depends on your internal state. You must be emotionally, mentally, and spiritually prepared for the opportunities that are coming your way. You cannot simply rush through the external process. You must also cultivate internal readiness. This is a season where you must strengthen your character, deepen your faith, and build resilience. Your external success will only be sustainable if it is rooted in a strong, stable inner foundation. The acceleration that you will experience will require you to step up in ways you've never had to before. You will be asked to take bold actions, make quick decisions, and lead with authority. You must be willing to embrace the pressure and the responsibility that comes with this season, knowing that it is all part of God's perfect plan to bring you to your divine destiny. You will face challenges, yes, but you will also see victories that come swiftly and unexpectedly. As you move through this accelerated preparation, trust that God is with you every step of the way. The pace may be faster than you are used to, but His grace will sustain you. You may not have all the answers, but He will give you the wisdom you need when you need it. This is not a time to hesitate or look back. This is a time to move forward with boldness, trusting that God is working in you and through you in ways that will change everything. Under April, many of you will experience a rapid unfolding of your purpose, a season of growth, expansion, and opportunity that will leave you in awe. The acceleration will not just be external, but will also work within you, propelling you into new realms of influence, impact, and success. Embrace it. Step into it with confidence, and know that you are being prepared for something greater than you could have imagined. As we journey through life, we often find ourselves adhering to certain belief systems and mindsets that are shaped by our experiences, the culture we grow up in, and the people around us. These beliefs and expectations can serve us well, especially in the early stages of life. They provide a sense of security, a predictable framework through which we navigate the world. However, as we grow and evolve, especially when we are stepping into a season of divine purpose, we often find that the mindset that once served us begins to hold us back. Our old expectations and ways of thinking no longer align with the future that God has prepared for us. After April, many of you will experience a profound shift in mindset. This shift will be necessary in order to step into the fullness of what God has planned for your life. The way you think about yourself, your destiny, and the opportunities before you will have to change. You will need to embrace a new way of seeing the world, a new way of thinking about your place in it, and a new way of expecting what is possible. This shift may feel uncomfortable at first because it will challenge everything you thought you knew. It will stretch you beyond the boundaries you've placed around your life, but it is essential for your growth. In the past, many of you may have believed that success and fulfillment were outcomes that could only come after years of hard work, struggle, and sacrifice. You may have believed that greatness was reserved for those who had endured immense hardship, those who had proven themselves worthy through relentless effort. While hard work and persistence are important, God's plan for your life operates on a different set of principles. He does not need you to prove your worth in the way the world does. He is not bound by time, and He is not limited by the constraints that the world places on success. God is calling you to let go of the mindset that has kept you tethered to the past. The mindset that says you must earn everything you receive, that you must wait for the right time to step into your destiny. After April, you will find that the timeline you've been following is no longer relevant. What used to take years will now unfold in a matter of months or even weeks. And the doors that once seemed locked will open with ease, and the opportunities that once felt out of reach will become accessible to you. This is the shift in mindset that you must embrace. You must begin to expect rapid change. Expect that what seemed impossible is now possible, and trust that God's timing is perfect, even when it doesn't make sense to your limited understanding. This new mindset requires you to believe in God's ability to move swiftly and powerfully in your life. For many of you, it may feel as though things are moving too fast, as though you are not ready for the opportunities that are suddenly before you. But remember, God does not call the prepared. He prepares the called. The shift that is coming after April is not a coincidence. It's a divinely orchestrated moment where God accelerates His plans for your life. And all He needs from you is your willingness to trust and embrace the process. When you embrace this new mindset, you will begin to view challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities for growth and transformation. Where you once saw barriers, you will now see stepping stones. The difficulties that come your way will no longer discourage you, they will empower you to rise higher. This shift in perspective will allow you to move forward with confidence, knowing that the very things that seem to be working against you are actually working for you. The challenges will no longer seem like hindrances, but like preparations for something greater. This change in mindset also involves embracing the reality that God's favor is not earned by your actions alone. Many of you may have been taught to work hard, hustle, and struggle to achieve your goals. And while effort is important, it is not the foundation of your success. The foundation of your success is God's favor. When you begin to understand this, when you shift from a mindset of striving to a mindset of surrender, you will find that success comes with greater ease. The things you once had to work tirelessly for will now come to you almost effortlessly, because they are being handed to you by the Creator of the universe. This is the mindset you must adopt. That success is a gift from God, not a reward for your own effort. As you step into this new season after April, you will also need to adjust your expectations. Many of you have been limiting yourselves by expecting only what you believe is possible based on your past experiences. You've been thinking small, believing that your success must be measured by what you've already achieved. But God is calling you to think bigger, to dream beyond what you can currently see, and to expect outcomes that you never thought possible. This is the essence of divine elevation. When you allow your mindset to shift, your expectations will follow suit. You will begin to believe that anything is possible, that there are no limits to what God can do in and through your life. This is the kind of faith that moves mountains, the kind of faith that sees the invisible and calls it into existence. Your new mindset and expectations will also impact how you relate to others. Many of you have been surrounded by people who share your old mindset. And as you begin to shift into this new season, you will find that not everyone around you will understand or support the change. This is where the challenge lies. You will need to make the choice to continue embracing the new mindset, even when it is difficult, or when others question your decision. Your new expectations will challenge the status quo, and for some this will be uncomfortable. But you must hold fast to what God is revealing to you. You cannot allow the opinions of others to derail the progress that God is making in your life. As your mindset shifts, so will your vision. You will begin to see opportunities where you once saw obstacles. You will begin to see yourself as someone capable of achieving greatness, someone worthy of success and impact. This change in vision will lead to a corresponding change in your actions. You will take risks you never thought you could take. You will step out in faith, trusting that God is leading you every step of the way. Your actions will begin to reflect your new expectations, and as a result, you will see things begin to unfold in your life that you never thought possible. This new mindset also brings with it a sense of peace. When you stop trying to control everything and instead trust in God's timing and His plan, you can rest in the assurance that everything is working out for your good. You will no longer feel the need to strive and struggle for everything you want. Instead, you will learn to rest in His grace, knowing that He is in control and that He will bring everything to fruition at the perfect time. This peace will enable you to move through life with confidence and poise, even when circumstances are challenging. After April, the shift in mindset and expectations will propel you forward into a new season of possibilities. You will look back and realize that what once seemed out of reach is now within your grasp. The doors that once seemed closed will swing open effortlessly, and the future that once seemed uncertain will now be filled with clarity and direction. Embrace the shift, embrace the new mindset, and prepare yourself for the abundant life that God is calling you into. Your expectations will no longer be limited by your past. They will be expanded by your faith in God's ability to do immeasurably more than you can ask or imagine. In the world we live in, success is often associated with hard work, merit, and the ability to navigate through challenges. People are taught to hustle, grind, and prove their worth in order to achieve their dreams. While there is truth in the need for effort and perseverance, there is another powerful force at play in the lives of those who are called to a greater purpose: divine favor. Divine favor is not earned by human effort or achieved through personal striving. It is a gift that comes from God, bestowed upon those who trust in His timing and walk in alignment with His will. After April, many of you will experience an unprecedented outpouring of divine favor. You will witness doors opening in your life that were previously closed, opportunities arising that you never imagined would be available to you. This divine favor will set you apart from the crowd and accelerate your journey toward your destiny. It is not based on your qualifications, your past experiences, or your ability to work hard. It is a manifestation of God's grace, working on your behalf to bring about His purpose in your life. The idea of divine favor can be difficult to fully comprehend because it defies the logic of the world. The world tells us that we must earn everything we receive, that we must prove ourselves worthy through our actions and accomplishments. However, God's favor is not like the favor of man. His favor is not contingent upon what we've done or how well we've performed. It is a free gift extended to us by a loving and merciful God who has chosen us for a specific purpose. This is why divine favor is so powerful. It opens doors that no amount of work or human effort can open. It grants access to places, opportunities, and connections that are beyond our reach. This new season, after April, you will experience doors opening in your life with little to no effort on your part. These doors may be career opportunities, business ventures, relationships, or creative endeavors. The key to unlocking these doors, however, is not your ability to work tirelessly or your skills, but your willingness to walk in obedience to God's will. The doors will open because God has positioned you for such a time as this. He has already gone before you, preparing the way, and all that is required from you is your faith and trust in His plan. One of the most significant ways that divine favor manifests in our lives is through the people we encounter. Favor often shows up in the form of relationships and connections that seem to happen by chance, but are actually divinely orchestrated. You will find that the right people begin to cross your path at exactly the right time. These individuals will open doors for you, provide opportunities, and offer resources that you never expected. It may be a mentor who offers guidance, a business partner who opens up new avenues of success, or a colleague who supports your ideas and helps you bring them to fruition. These relationships are not accidents. They are divine connections that have been arranged by God to propel you forward. The key to understanding divine favor is to recognize that it is not just about receiving blessings for yourself. It is about being positioned to bless others and fulfill the purpose that God has for you. The favor that you receive is not meant to be hoarded. It is meant to be shared, used to impact others and to advance God's kingdom. As you receive divine favor, you will also be called to extend favor to others, to lift them up and to be a conduit of God's love and grace. This is the true power of favor. It flows through you, not just to you. Another manifestation of divine favor that you will experience after April is the removal of obstacles and the smoothening of the path ahead. The challenges that once seemed insurmountable will suddenly feel more manageable. What once required immense effort will now come with greater ease. This is not because the circumstances have changed, but because God is working on your behalf, removing the barriers that have been standing in your way. You will find that opportunities come to you effortlessly, and the struggles that once weighed you down will no longer have the same impact. This is a clear sign that divine favor is at work in your life, guiding you towards success with a grace and ease that could only come from God. It is important to understand that divine favor is not just about external opportunities or material blessings. True divine favor also manifests internally through a peace that surpasses understanding, a confidence that comes from knowing you are walking in the will of God, and a joy that comes from knowing that He is working all things together for your good. You will find that as divine favor increases in your life, your sense of purpose will become clearer, and your confidence will grow. You will begin to see yourself not just as an ordinary person, but as someone uniquely equipped and positioned for greatness. This internal shift is just as important as the external blessings, because it enables you to step into your destiny with clarity and boldness. As divine favor begins to unfold in your life, you will also experience a deep sense of gratitude. Favor is not something that is earned or deserved. It is a gift, and recognizing it as such will fill your heart with thankfulness. This gratitude will fuel your passion and motivation, driving you to use your blessings to make a positive impact on the world around you. The more grateful you are for the favor you receive, the more favor you will attract, because God loves a grateful heart. Gratitude will also help you stay grounded, keeping you focused on the purpose behind the favor rather than getting distracted by the blessings themselves. Many of you may be wondering why divine favor is so important and what it means for your future. The answer lies in the fact that divine favor is a divine acceleration. When God's favor is on your life, the ordinary processes of life become extraordinary. The things that normally take years to achieve are now achieved in a fraction of the time. Opportunities that were once far out of reach are now within your grasp. You are being positioned for success in a way that no amount of human effort could have brought about. This divine favor is God's way of advancing you toward your purpose faster than you could have imagined. But this favor is not just for your personal gain. It is for the fulfillment of God's kingdom and the advancement of His purposes on earth. The doors that will open for you are not just about you achieving success. They are about you fulfilling the purpose that God has ordained for your life. The favor you receive will empower you to impact others, to change lives, and to bring glory to God. It is not about you becoming famous or successful for the sake of recognition. It is about using the favor you've been given to bring light into a dark world, to help others find their way, and to point them toward the goodness and greatness of God. As you step into this season of divine favor after April, remember that it is a gift, not something you can earn or deserve. It is a manifestation of God's grace and His perfect timing, and it is a sign that He is with you, guiding you every step of the way. Embrace this favor with gratitude, humility, and a heart that is ready to share the blessings you've received with others. As you do, you will see God's hand move mightily in your life, opening doors you never thought possible, and positioning you for a future filled with success, purpose, and impact. After April, you will find that everything you've experienced up until this moment has been preparing you for something far greater than you ever imagined. The trials, the hardships, the victories, and the lessons learned, they are not just random events in your life. They are part of a divine plan, a purposeful preparation for the destiny that awaits you. Many of you have already sensed this call to something higher, something more significant. But the question has remained, why me? Why now? The truth is, after April, God is going to bring clarity to that question, and with that clarity comes a call to action. It's no longer about just knowing that you're meant for something greater. It's about stepping into that calling and beginning to act with purpose and intentionality. In the past, you may have felt stuck, uncertain of your next steps, or unsure of how to make progress toward the dream or purpose that has been burning in your heart. Perhaps you've waited for the right moment, the right resources, or the right opportunity. But the truth is, the right time is now. God has been preparing you all along, and after April, everything will begin to align. The waiting period is over, and the preparation has reached its peak. You are now being called to act. This call to action is not just about doing more, but about stepping into the purpose for which you were created. Many people go through life never fully understanding the purpose behind their existence. They live day to day, trying to survive, rather than thriving in the unique calling that God has placed upon their life. After April, you will experience a shift in how you view your life and its purpose. What seemed like ordinary circumstances will now take on a deeper meaning. Every experience, every struggle, and every victory will begin to make sense as you realize that God has been shaping you for this moment. This call to action will require you to move beyond the comfort of your current situation. It will require you to step out of your comfort zone, to take risks, and to be bold in pursuing the dreams that God has placed on your heart. It is easy to stay where we are, to remain in the familiar, because it feels safe and predictable. But God is calling you to break free from the confines of your comfort zone, to trust that He will be with you every step of the way, and to take action in the direction of your divine purpose. The path ahead may not always be clear, and there may be moments of uncertainty, but that is where faith comes in. Faith is not about seeing the whole picture right now. It's about trusting that God has already gone ahead of you and that He will guide your steps. As you begin to act on this calling, you will find that the resources you need will begin to show up. Divine provision will meet your obedience. The people you need, the opportunities you require, and the skills you must develop will all come together as you step out in faith. This is one of the most powerful truths about purpose. When you are walking in alignment with God's will for your life, everything you need to fulfill that purpose will be provided. You don't have to figure it all out on your own. You simply have to be obedient and take the first step. Once you do, the rest will follow. This preparation for purpose also involves a deep internal shift. It's not just about taking external action. It's about an internal transformation that aligns your heart, mind, and spirit with God's will. After April, you will begin to notice a shift in how you think about yourself and your capabilities. The fear and doubt that have held you back will begin to lose their power over you. You will begin to see yourself as God sees you, as capable, equipped, and ready to step into the purpose He has ordained for you. This transformation will empower you to act with confidence, knowing that you are not relying on your own strength, but on the power of the Holy Spirit to lead and guide you. The preparation for purpose also requires a deeper understanding of the role you play in God's greater plan. Your life is not just about you, it's about the impact you will have on others. When you step into your purpose, you are not only fulfilling your own potential, but also contributing to the greater good of the world. The work that you do, the influence that you have, and the legacy you leave will have a ripple effect on the lives of others. This understanding of purpose will drive you to act with a sense of urgency, knowing that your time here on earth is limited, and that the opportunities you have to make an impact are not to be taken lightly. This call to action is also about embracing your unique gifts and talents. Many of you have been waiting for the perfect conditions before you take action, thinking that you must be fully equipped or qualified before you step into your calling. But the truth is, God has already equipped you with everything you need to get started. The gifts, talents, and abilities that you possess are not by accident. They are part of God's plan for your life after April. You will begin to see how these gifts can be used to further His kingdom and bring about positive change in the world. You will recognize that you don't need to be someone else or do things in someone else's way. You simply need to be authentic and use what God has already placed inside of you. As you take action, there will be moments when you face resistance, when things don't go as planned, or when you encounter obstacles that seem insurmountable. It is in these moments that your faith will be tested, and it is in these moments that you must hold on to God's promises and trust in His plan. The preparation you have gone through up until now is not for nothing. The challenges you face will only refine you, strengthen you, and build your character as you continue to pursue your purpose. It is in the face of adversity that your true potential is unlocked. And after Abri, you will find that you have the strength to persevere through whatever comes your way. You are not meant to go through life aimlessly, drifting from one day to the next. You are meant to live with purpose, to wake up every day knowing that you are moving toward a specific goal that aligns with God's will for your life. After April, this purpose will become clearer, and the steps you need to take to fulfill it will be illuminated. The call to action will require you to be bold, courageous, and unwavering in your commitment to the path God has set before you. It will require you to trust Him, to step out in faith, and to take action even when you don't have all the answers. This call to action is a pivotal moment in your life. It is the point at which you stop waiting for the perfect time and start moving forward with the conviction that God has already equipped you for what lies ahead. You will no longer hesitate or second guess yourself. You will act with confidence, knowing that God is with you every step of the way. This is your moment to rise up, take action, and fulfill the purpose that you were created for. The time has come for you to step into the life you've always dreamed of, not in your own strength, but in the strength and power that God provides. As we stand on the brink of this new season, after April, we are reminded that the journey ahead is not about chance or coincidence. It is the result of divine preparation and purpose. Every moment of your life has been orchestrated by a higher power, shaping you, refining you, and positioning you for what is to come. The doors that will open before you, the favor that will surround you, and the clarity that will fill your heart are all part of God's plan for your life. Now is the time to step forward with boldness, trust, and a renewed sense of purpose. The call to action has been issued. You have been prepared, equipped, and anointed for this moment. The challenges you face will not define you, they will refine you. The divine favor that is upon your life will propel you forward, opening doors that were once closed and leading you to places that once seemed unreachable. But remember, this journey is not just for your success, it is for the fulfillment of God's greater purpose through you. So let your faith be your guide, your obedience be your strength, and your trust in God's timing be your anchor. After April, the path ahead is yours to walk, and with each step you will discover the greatness that God has placed within you. Embrace the purpose, act with confidence, and let your life be a living testimony to the power of divine preparation. The best is yet to come, and you are ready for it. Before Amini.